In this video, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this while eating this. Okay, maybe not that, actually something more like this. And yes, those photos are not edited. And you're going to want to stay tuned till the end, because in the end I'm going to show you different protein shake recipes, and one of them over 1,000 calories. So stay tuned. Okay, if you guys didn't know this before, I'm plant-based. And that's just because I believe that humans are naturally made to be able to eat plants and get their nutrients from plants. Now that's, as well as some of you guys might debate on that, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is showing you guys how to bulk on plants. Here's the thing. Many people think that you can't really build muscle based off of plants. And I'm a perfect example of why you actually can and how you can, because I've done it before. I've actually gained over 30 pounds of muscle and counting by using this method. And I've been plant-based for just about my whole life. So I think I'm pretty qualified to share a bit of knowledge on how to bulk while being plant-based. The first thing we want to determine is, do you need to bulk? Now here are the reasons why someone should bulk. If you look like a twig, bulk. Shirt too big, bulk. Baggy pants, bulk. Can't walk, bulk. In a wheelchair, bulk. Okay. Maybe that's stretching a bit too far. But in reality, when you want to bulk is because you have a very low body weight and you need to increase the size of your muscle in order to bring yourself back up to the weight you should be. First thing I want you guys to do is go on a calorie calculator. And you can search this up online and you'll see millions of different calculators or calorie calculators show up. Go to a calorie calculator and put in the different things it asks you. It's going to ask you like how many times you plan to be active per week and your current body weight and height and stuff like that. I want you guys to put those stats in. And then after you put those in, it's going to give you your maintenance calories. I want you guys to take the maintenance calories and take notes of it, because that's going to be very important for bulking. Now, when bulking, you want to have a calorie surplus. And a calorie surplus basically means that you're eating more calories than you use up for a day. Basically, the maintenance calories is how much calories your body processes per day. Since it's your maintenance, you're maintaining the same weight. But when you're at a calorie surplus now, it's above the maintenance. So instead of maintaining the weight, you will actually be putting on weight. And depending on how big that surplus is how much you'll gain, how fast you'll gain. And a calorie deficit is the other way. That's for cutting, which we are not talking about in this video because you need to bulk. Now, based off of your maintenance calories that you've taken off of the calorie calculator, you want to add 400 calories to that total. So whatever that total is, if that total is 1,400, you add another 400 and it's 1,800. So you want to add 400 calories. Now that's like, it's kind of like a lean bulk kind of in a sense, but just add that to get familiar with how many calories you'll need. Next, I want you guys to take into consideration your current body weight. Now, because we are going in a bulk, you could set a bulk goal and you could be like, I'm 150 and I want to gain 10 or 20 pounds of muscle. Let's go with 10. I'm 150 and I want to be 160. What's recommended is that you take a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I want to get to 160, I'll take 160 grams of protein. Or my current body weight, if I'm maintaining, I would stay at 150 grams of protein. But what I found out that works best for me is probably 0.8 grams of protein what's recommended is 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I find that doing it at 0.8 seems more manageable, and I feel like I see more progress that way. So yeah, take into consideration your body weight, and then based off of your body weight, you'll know how much protein to take. First, we're going to focus on the diet, because the diet is probably 70% of it. Now, with the diet, you want to have protein-dense foods. Now, if you're plant-based, I have listed here different protein-dense foods that you could use. Beans, of course, is going to be a very high source of protein for you guys, as well as chickpeas, lentils, quinoa, and even tofu and tempeh. All of those are good sources of protein. I have a list here that I'm gonna put on the screen for a little bit, just so that you guys could see and get an idea of the different protein sources. Now, hemp seeds are packed with protein, especially for the amount. I think like a tablespoon, 1 or 2 tablespoons equal to 10 grams of protein, which is very high. So something like that I would definitely include in my diet. And there's different grains like quinoa, millet, buckwheat, and all of these different types of grains that you could use in order to get your protein intake in. And stuff like soy milk, you want to keep notes of all the high sources of protein, because if you get to know all of the good protein sources, then you could use them as like a base that you could change into different variations to create meals, which is pretty useful, trust me. So yeah, protein dense foods. We also want to focus on getting high calorie intake, getting enough calorie intake, I should say. Which, good news for you guys, most of these foods that are high in protein also are pretty decently high in calories, which is why I tend not to really have to try to work on my calorie intake, because most of these foods that are high in protein are also high in calories. So I could just go off of that and kind of wing it. To be honest, I haven't had to track calories as closely to how I have had to track my protein intake. So I prioritize my protein intake over the calories. But most of these things are also high in calories. Now, there's other things that you could have that's also high in calories, such as like seed oils and different oils and stuff like that, that are packed with calories. That if you realize that you're not making it to your calorie intake, you could definitely have some. Also, I have here vegetables like potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, different things. So yeah, you also want to make sure that you're getting the adequate amount of calories in. Now we're going to focus on the way we train. Now you want to train consistently, constantly progressing. You want to have progressive overload, which is basically continuing to progress over time. Now the way I do it is a bit different, because the way I train is high intensity, low volume, which basically is saying that I prioritize intensity over volume. Basically how that's done is by, well, let me explain. For my first set, now I'll probably have 2 or 3 sets rather than the common 4, 5, 6 or whatever sets. And what I would do is, for my first set, I would probably try and stay between the 7 to 9 rep range, which is like, if I could hit 7 reps, okay, and hit failure at the 7th rep, because I always train to failure, then I'll be like, okay, I've hit failure at 7 rep, okay, I'll stay with this weight. Now I hit 8, okay, I'll still stay at this weight, but then I hit 9 reps. Once I hit 9 reps, I'll say, okay, now it's time to increase the weight. So for my next first set, the next time I may be benching or whatever, then I'll just increase the weight for it. Now for my second set, I would normally try and stay between the 9 to 11-ish rep range. And then for my third set, I'll try and hit anywhere between 11 and 13 plus if I can. What I normally do is for the second set, I would normally take like 20 pounds off of, if it's benching, let's say I'm benching 160 for the first set. For my second set, I would take off 20 pounds and do 140 and do that. And then afterwards, I would take off another 10 pounds and do that. You could try different variations and see what works for you. But that's what tends to work out for me. And I tend to be able to get a good workout out of that. And you also want to have a longer break time, especially like if you're doing high intensity, you want to have longer rest periods, maybe between 2.5 minutes to 4 minutes of rest time. And yeah, that's how I train. Now I'm going to show you guys how to create a protein shake like I promised. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So the one thing you've all been waiting for, my 1,000 calorie protein shake. Yeah, this is also me editing, by the way. I forgot to mention that the blender itself has 3K calories. It has 3,000 calories, but I split it into 3 servings. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This will help a lot with the bulking process. And thanks for staying tuned. Smash the like button. And also subscribe while you're at it. Like, actually, like, press like that red button that... Is it red anymore? Just hit that button that says subscribe and smash the like button. And thanks for watching. Anyways, without any further ado, here's how it's done. Alright, so here's the ingredients. You're going to need some oats, some pumpkin seeds, some milk, some dates, preferably the medjool dates. I don't have any medjool dates, so these are the dates we're going to use. But with the medjool dates, you don't have to use as much. Hemp hearts. And naked pea protein. And I'm going to also show you guys in the end different variations you could do where you don't actually need protein powder. So yeah, let's get blending. So I have a half cup here. The first thing we're going to have is 1.5 cups of oats. Next, I'm adding 3/4 cups of hemp seeds. Mix, mix, mix. Now I'm playing. Let's blend it. 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. Now add some glug glug. Glug 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 glug. I'm done. I'm done. I'm posting this. Some dates. Add enough for the shake to be sweet. If you taste it and it needs more sweetener, then add more. You could also add a little maple syrup to help it along. But I just use dates. Sugar. Now I'm playing. I don't use sugar. We don't use that, boys. More milk. Glug, 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 glug. Now we're going to add about 4 scoops of this. Glug, 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 glug. I bet we finish with it. Here it is. Can you see it? Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? Anyways, for the taste test. It's so wonderful. Now it's actually pretty good. As long as you guys make sure to add enough dates. Like if you feel like it needs to be sweetened more, add more dates or maple syrup. Those are the two sweetening options I use personally. Now let's go back and I'll show you guys the different recipes and different variations and stuff like that. Make sure you guys screenshot these if you want to try these protein shake recipes. Now, there's different ways that you could vary them or adapt them to accommodate more of what you do. Make it work for you. Not everyone's body responds the same. Sometimes people might have a slower metabolism, some people might have a faster metabolism, and you might have to increase your calories. But it really all depends on your body, and you have to be able to look at it and see how it's progressing and be able to adapt and change according to the way that your body progresses. Thank you for watching this video. The success you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. I'll see you in the next one.